So how long has it been? About 10 years? Not counting that race we did. It's been 10 years since we went to the world of Aperture Science. So we're going back with a shiny new RTX 3080. That's the only way we can play this. If you don't have RTX, get out. Literally not allowed.
So, rich people, I get it. Okay, so if you're not rich, then you can't play this game.
Well, specifically, are you green rich? Because if you're on Team AMD or even Team Intel now with their graphics, I hope you like single-digit frame rates. This game is heavily skewed towards NVIDIA graphics cards because Portal RTX is a full-on ray tracing remaster of the original Portal on PC, made specifically for the 40 series graphics cards. You can kind of already see an Easter egg in the very beginning. There's a 4090 just sitting right next to the radio. This was all done via NVIDIA, so you need at least an RTX 2060 or higher, but recommended is probably a 3060. Because this game, I'm playing this on a computer with a i9 10850K, so it's a 10-core, 20-thread processor with a RTX 3080, and I have to play on performance mode because, man, if I play in any other DLSS setting, this game just chugs hard.
I will say it does kind of make me nervous seeing the 4080 sitting under the bench there, just with the end just clunked in there, and I'm like, no, that is completely not static protected. That's gonna freaking balk itself.
Although it's funny, all the 4090s you see in this game, they all kind of look like they've been through a fire. So I almost like to think that's a reference to the whole 4090 connector catching on fire when it first came out, because people were plugging it in wrong.
Oh my god, look how shiny the button is!
Literally,
He's excited about the button.
It looks like it's made out of hard candy. It is gorgeous.
Yeah, in terms of the new textures and lighting they have for this game, like, it looks beautiful. Talks about the whole performance thing, but besides that, it looks really good. So it was a very good showcase for just ray tracing in general. For those of you who don't know, ray tracing is just a special lighting effect that you can use in games now. It's more real-time lighting instead of the tricks they've used in the past for games. Though it makes it more realistic to how lighting would work outside, for example.
We'll say what's really nice about it is, compared to the graphical overhaul of something like, say, Halo Combat Evolved for the Master Chief Collection, it's not a noisy graphical overhaul.
Yeah.
By the way, I have to ask, just how big is the 4090?
It's the size of an Xbox.
Yeah, it's actually been shown to be about the same size as an Xbox Series S.
So you gotta build the case for the computer around that, I think.
Oh my...
Good luck putting that in an ITX size case. It's not gonna
Good
fit.
God! And I thought the 3070 that we have is pretty big. Holy freaking cow!
Yeah. I mean, mine's kind of big. My 3080 is a triple slot card, so it is pretty chunky. But like the 4080 and the 4090s are out, or I think both about 4-slot cards, or just flat just 4-slot in general. They're big.
Oh my god.
That okay. I can tell it's loading stuff, but because of how much grunt must be going through that, those load times are scarily fast.
Yeah. Also helps that we're playing in the modern age of solid state drive, so in 2023 I'm using a drive that's lightning fast compared to Snicker Chuckle hard drive.
Thank you,
By the
Knuckles.
way, I saw some of the chug that you're talking about.
Yeah, it can be worse in certain test chambers. How I was playing this specifically is, since I have a high refresh rate monitor, I was playing above 60 frames for the most part, but there are some areas that dip below 60. I think the lowest we ever get in this is maybe around like 53, something like that. So it's not terribly noticeable, but it feels weird.
Is the mentality of playing it above 60 so that if it buffers down, it's more likely to buffer down to 60 rather than going below it?
Essentially, like, I try at least when I play games to keep it at the minimum of 60 so that you don't feel when it slows down.
Okay. So it's overclocking it to buffer that out. Yeah, because I was just thinking, if you're buffering it at a frame rate that's above 60, either one, you're not going to see it, or if you do see it, it's going to make you motion sick. Because your brain can't freaking keep up.
So basically, for all those who aren't tech savvy like our little group here, let's just say this game is a lot shinier than it used to be.
Yes.
Pretty much.
I was gonna say, for those who aren't tech savvy or who aren't speedrunners who can see in frames, how do you people work?
Yeah, I mean, I had to figure out what my frame rate should be by just using like a third-party tool like MSI Aperture. I'm not gonna see it actually while playing. It's kind of the point. But there's a little Easter egg I kind of want to mention on the bottom of a lot of things, like the cameras and the radios. You'll see a QR code that NVIDIA put on the bottom of all these things now. If you scan that QR code, you literally just get the word Black Mesa. That's what they all say. They all say Black Mesa on the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
That was a joke, a half-bad
Yep.
chance.
Oh my god.
I will say I'm also going for all the radio locations in this, along with shooting down all the cameras. So these are like 2 extra little things you can do for achievements in the game. Mind you, I do all this for the radios, but for some reason it only counted like half the locations in my actual tracker. So take my word, we do it. The game doesn't believe I did, but we did.
Okay, you know what? That's fair, because I was gonna ask, one, is Portal RTX maxed onto the base game, or is it considered a separate executable? And 2, are the achievements tracked separately? Because I found I had the same problem with Munch's Odyssey when I streamed it a year and a half. No, yeah, like streamed it last year. And the problem was, if I wasn't playing the 2013 build, half of the achievements didn't work. Which meant I finished the game at 100% and it didn't like it, so I'm like, alright, we'll just reinstall it with the newer build, and then it worked.
Yeah, I mean, this is a weird one for this reason, because it's kind of like a 50-50. The game does have different achievements, but the exact same from the original, so it's a separate SKU when it comes to how it launches on Steam itself. But the thing is, also, it is running with the original executable. I think it's just adding some extra code to it, which is what makes it into the RTX version. It patches it in, which is why you do need the original game in your account. I don't think you need it installed at the same time, because I believe Portal RTX is just installing it again, and then running that said code to add in all the new stuff. But to be fair, it's much bigger than the original. Like, the original game is only a few gigs. This is, I believe, about 30.
So, kind of like how if you have, say, the Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Mania mod loaders loaded up and you're playing a mod, you can still get achievements for the base game when you're playing it on Steam.
Yeah, except like this time around, the achievements are the exact same, but they're tracked differently. So I have like 1 less achievement in this version, and it's an achievement I know for a fact I got, it's just the game didn't count it. Because at the time of recording this footage, a lot of the stuff when it comes to like the Steam integration with Portal RTX is just kind of busted. You can't pull up the Steam overlay, even though it tells you can in the game, so that's kind of weird. And then certain things just don't track correctly, so some achievements may not pop up, but you actually get them.
It's weird because I kind of like having the Steam overlay, if it's going to be on, having it outside of the game window, just because I prefer not having it pop up during recordings or streams. I used to like that, but then I kind of started finding it annoying because then it just kept popping up in my peripheral vision when I was streaming, and I'm like, what is that thing that keeps popping up?
Yeah, I love it when the things just randomly shift around on windows like that and just confuse the heck out of you. I was actually wanting the Steam overlay to work with this, because then I can use the Steam frame rate counter to make sure things are fine. But then, you know, recording inside of OBS with Game Capture, I can turn that off. But 2 problems with that. 1, Steam overlay doesn't really work on this game, because you can't have nice things. And then 2 is more or less just, this game's performance is already really bad as it is. Trying to record this with actual software, no matter how good hardware encoding has gotten over the years, still kind of tanks the frame rate a bit. Plus, also at the time of recording this does not work with Game Capture inside of OBS for whatever reason. So it's either a window display or the whole, like, this desktop the capture. It's like, nah, break out the capture card. I'm not doing this.
This is why on every scene I have in my OBS overlay, I have 4 overlays. One for my composite capture card, one for the Elgato that I got for Christmas, one that I typically use for emulators, and one for game capture, because any games that don't work with game capture, I can capture them with the emulator capture window one instead.
Yeah, and that was what I was planning on doing with this, just a window capture, but with how the game's performance already is kind of hit or miss, I figured play with one computer, record with another, because this game would probably chug more if I tried to like run anything else in the background.
I see you're breaking the chambers.
Yeah.
You're making GLaDOS mad.
That's like one of the very few situations where you can get stuck in a test chamber, so GLaDOS just opens the door.
You're giving me horrendous flashbacks to the race, and I'm just like, oh, that's right. You were steaming ahead and leaving us in the dust.
Yeah, I believe like not that long after we did that, I did my playthrough. Oh, I had practice.
I stand corrected with the race. Matt was keeping up with you reasonably, and I was here.
And to be fair, that was like good credit to Matt's sake, because I was playing on PC and he was playing on Xbox, so loading times were a massive difference.
And as we were saying before we started recording, he was at disadvantage because he was, as we were discussing before, playing the quote-unquote worst version. Yeah. He was playing Mighty Number 9 on the Wii U. No.
Yeah. After playing the PS3 version, I know how bad that one is. It's basically the same. Don't do it.
Don't do it, man.
Alarms and flashing hazard lights have been found to agitate the high-energy pellet and have therefore been disabled for your safety.
Found a secret radio. Yeah.
Some of these radios are really well hidden, too. So you really gotta search.
I considered reinstalling Portal the other day solely to go back and get the radios, because it's one of the few achievements outside of the challenge mode ones that I don't have. And it's mostly because once you get through the last test chamber and then GLaDOS starts going bloodthirsty after you, I stopped being able to work out where they wanted you to take the radios, or like a doofus, I just took them straight into the disintegration force field by accident, and thought, I am looking in the wrong place.
I think the problem with this specific achievement is you really need to be following a guide, because some of the radio positions are really specific. Like, you wouldn't think to take them there. And even then, I think the reason why this didn't count like half my radio positions, it's just the placement specifically. I don't think I hit the right pixel for the radio in some test chambers, so it didn't count towards the tracker.
It's one thing that the game itself has a trigger point with an AoE for the radio itself. But that area of effect is not what triggers the achievement. It expects you to find the center of that circle of effect to trigger the achievement.
You're essentially looking for when the radio light goes green, because you know you're in the area when the radio stops playing music and instead just kind of goes in this weird static mode. So you're already close enough when you have that, but when the light changes to like flashing green, then you found the location.
Man, that water effect.
But yeah, it's really nice. This room is one of the shining examples in trailers for how big of a graphics difference the RTX version made.
I think my only direct comparison I had to any RTX anyone had shown me before to really sing its praises was someone showed me an RTX real texture Minecraft mod. And specifically the thing he wanted to show me was the textures for blocks of gold. Because as you can imagine, they just looked like blocks of gold. And they refracted light, and they were incredibly shiny, but there were also tiny imperfections on them as well, like with a gold ingot, and I've just gone, oh, my interest in Minecraft is from a distance. But I can appreciate how gorgeous that looks. So when I saw this going on with Portal, I've just gone, this is beautiful. And like the water is shinier and yet it looks way more dangerous. I'm impressed that they did that.
Yeah, like ray tracing is one of those things where when it first came out, it was just kind of a meme because the games didn't really look that much different at the time it was first introduced. But now the tech has started to been figured out more in the scene. It's starting to be like a huge difference.
I think games that you know what the game is that truly sold me on ray tracing put to its absolute greatest performance is probably Control.
Yeah.
When you play Control on RTX settings, the reflections on glass and metal stairs and the floors and bits of reflections on stuff, it is so beautiful. One of my mates showed me how it was performing on his 4090. And it was so clean and smooth, it actually made me feel motion sick. And I haven't got motion sick from games in a long time, beyond Sonic 4 Special Stages, but that's another story. Point is,
yeah.
Point is, I have not been a game has not made me motion sick from a point of realism and escapism until I'd seen Control performing on RTX, and I appreciated it so much, and then I just went, I can't keep looking at this. Because this is so beautiful, and yet, oh!
Speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out.
I heard that radio.
Yeah, this one's one of the hardest ones, I think, to grab because you have to grab it while flying through the air. It's an easy location to find because it's in the same room, but to grab the radio is the hard part.
That's actually one of the radios I missed.
Yeah, I can see why. It's a nuisance to grab it, to be honest.
I did consider, I'll admit, when we were doing the race, I remember I was considering, should I try and just get the radio achievement as we're doing the race? And then I thought, that's not the purpose of the race. The purpose is to get to the end first.
Yeah, especially when we had our own rule set where if GLaDOS talked anymore, we had to stop. And there were some points where going out of your way for some of these achievements was a mistake.
Yeah, that was mean. Like, that was a mistake. It was fun, but it was a mistake.
Yeah. I really realized how big of a handicap that was to everyone and not just a specific player.
Yeah.
That was it was a cool idea, but yeah, not very well executed.
Could you imagine if we did that for Portal 2 with Wheatley?
That we will never move out of the first area. We would be done.
Oh god, we'd never move out of the freaking areas, dude.
We'd have to specifically
That's why
make
you
the
guys
rule
didn't do
for
Portal.
GLaDOS because she talks less.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny how GLaDOS was a big talker in this game, but she was the only character really that talked to you, so it made sense. But in the sequel, she doesn't have nearly as much talk time as Wheatley, just because Wheatley is a chatterbox.
I will say, what was it? I know this is a weird tangent, but mentioning the QR codes for the radios, mentioning Black Mesa, the tumultuous amounts of Black Mesa and Half-Life references throughout the Portal franchise that have just got deeper and deeper and deeper. It kind of admittedly reminded me of the fact that yesterday I found out there is actually a canonical connection between Commander Keen, Wolfenstein 3D, and Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, all three game worlds are technically linked.
Yeah, I mean, you can find in Doom 2016, you can find Commander Keen's helmet where the super shotgun's found.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's even funnier, Doom Guy is Commander Keen's father, and the main character from Wolfenstein 3D is Doom Guy's father. Canon, confirmed by John Romero himself.
Really?
Yeah, they not only exist in the same universe, they are of the same bloodline. It's maddening. I love it. It's such wild trivia, but I'm just like, that explains a lot, actually. It's in their blood, literally.
Yeah. It's a family tradition to be, I guess, badasses and serial killers. Depending on which one you're looking at.
Yep. Now I'm just picturing, like, Commander Keen playing Animal Crossing.
You know, out of the three, I could picture him doing that probably the most, just because of, I don't know, just something about him just seems like he'd be more in the games than the rest of the characters.
Imagine if the reason the Doom Guy met Isabel is because of Commander Keen.
Yeah, he introduced him.
No, it's because he had Twitter.
Yeah, also that.
His shit's not gonna be there.
If that's the case, I feel sorry for a lot of the villagers. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah.
I know we're going off topic on Portal, and this will be the last comment on it, but I've got to say, like, the Doom official Twitter page showing the picture of the Doom Guy and Isabel Nendroids when Doom Guy got revealed for Smash was one of the most wholesome Smash reveals I've ever seen hit Twitter ever.
Yeah, it's like when the memes come full circle.
Because they're like the same height, and I'm like, they did this on purpose. I feel like they legitimately did this on purpose. They're like, we could ask for Doom Guy as a character, but the Nendroid.
Oh my god. I love that. The how the both communities just got like super wholesome with each other because of the fact that they shared a release date. That's all it was.
Yeah, because there's nothing at all between those two different game genres that should have made that so wholesome, but it was because of the release date. It just worked out so beautifully, where the gaming community actually came together and not dunked on something.
Pretty much.
There's another radio here. Is there a radio in every test chamber?
Yeah, there's a radio in every test chamber, and there's even some in the ending sequence too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The cameras stop at the final test chamber, so that you won't have to worry about after test chamber 19, but the radios you'll still have to keep an eye on for a bit. They're like all the way up until like right before the final fight. There's just that many radios. It's one per map, and plus the test chambers.
Yeah, so if you see the loading message, it's like, alright, gotta find the next radio.
Yep.
I just appreciate how dang smooth it's making everything. It's so good.
Well, smooth only because of DLSS, so deep learning super sampling. If we had anything else and that didn't support that, yeah, this would look like 5 frames a second.
And you are an excellent test subject.
Are there any cameras that are not on portable walls that need to be destroyed?
Those ones you don't have to worry about for the achievement. They don't count, which is good, because there'd be no way of destroying those.
Because I've been wondering for a while, and I'm like, is the reason that I haven't got that achievement yet either because of those cameras? And I would be most upset.
Yeah, thankfully they only count the ones that are on portable surfaces. There's an actual tracker, I think, for it with the Steam achievements, and in the game itself, it tells you how many. And when you count up how many are for the achievement and how many cameras are actually in the game, it doesn't add up. So, yeah, thankfully they don't count if they're not on a portable surface.
It's thankfully one of those checklist achievements that it has a sub number that goes up when you find another one or you destroy another one, which, especially if you're going back for them on subsequent playthroughs, very much helps.
Yeah, because seeing that actually pop up, like the achievements being collected at the time you hit the checkpoint, really does help.
Man, it's just screeching out the high-pitched noise. It's like, are we summoning the alien friends to come to Earth?
It's some kind of an SOS, but it definitely ain't reaching the right crowd.
Has been activated in the main chamber.
If anything, the SOS signal is just going straight back to the boss, which is GLaDOS, and that's probably not helping us at all. We are still promised cake.
Or we're sending we're sending a Morse code message to Portal 2 to Wheatley that just says shut up.
Yes, and he won't listen. He's still talking right now.
It falls on deaf ears, exactly.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of
I wonder
all
how,
participants.
like,
Cake
GLaDOS
and
be
counseling
seeing
will be
Chell
available at the
saying,
conclusion of
"Oh, I
the
got
test.
your cake."
Thank you for
Chell's
helping
like,
us help you help us
I just wanted the radios.
Yeah, why'd you have to hide him so weird? Like, why is this one way up in the ceiling? GLaDOS!
Man, some of those radios, though, I'm just like, dude, they're hidden really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the obscureness of some of these radio positions is just bonkers.
This is why I say if you're going for the radio achievement, you definitely want to look up a guide. You can do the camera one without a guide pretty easily, but the radio one is very specific, so I wouldn't recommend it.
The radios, I treat the radios the same way I treat the CD database in Mega Man and Bass, which is to say, do not bother to go through the game and hope that you'll find the right spot to get rushed to dig. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, because it's pixel perfect at that point, you're not going to find it on your own.
Oh, there's literally one of those CD database, one of the database disks is in a section that's got a mole hallway, but the moles are digging away a part of the ground. So you have to fight off the moles with a non-charged Mega Buster as Rush is digging for 14 seconds. It is the dumbest one to get, and I hate it.
Also known as, did you buy the strategy guide? You're probably going to want the strategy guide.
Also known as, yes, this playthrough is not going to include this.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Because yes, in the multitude of so many projects I have going on in the background, one of the next ones I want to record after I've edited the other 4 is Mega Man and Bass. Yes, we're skipping Mega Man 5 through 8 and going straight to Mega Man.
It's not a numbered Mega Man game. It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not a numbered Mega Man game because it's the best one. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
People say it's the hardest, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? I wouldn't say it's the hardest, because have you played Mega Man 1 on NES?
I mean, half the time you just fall through things because of momentum.
Was it one of my mates actually was saying someone recommended with the Mega Man games I should just play them from the start and go through numerically, and I've just gone, oh, who told you that? And they're like, oh, one of my best mates, and I'm just like, how did you find it? And they've gone, well, I didn't really like Mega Man 1, so I won't keep going. I've gone, what did you not like about it? He's just gone, I didn't like the physics. I'm like, yeah, they didn't work it out until Mega Man 3.
Yeah, even 2, like, it felt better, but it still had issues.
Then they've just stopped and gone, God damn it, he did that on purpose. Oh, that's where it is.
Yeah, I believe this is the only test chamber in the whole game that has 2 radios in it. It's weird. Or actually, no, there's another test chamber that also has 2. This is a rarity, but there'll be once in a while where there are multiple radios in a single test. So this can really throw you off as well for the achievement.
Okay, so did you get trapped in there and GLaDOS let you out?
Yep, if you go in that area, you're not supposed to be able to normally, which is why GLaDOS is like, alright, you trapped yourself, I'll let you out. Careful when you're doing that, because there is a chance for you to actually somehow get clipped inside of the trap, and GLaDOS doesn't open the door. That has happened to me on a couple playthroughs. I don't know why. It's just something about where you're standing.
Dang it, GLaDOS.
She really is out to kill you.
Yeah, it shows.
Due to mandatory scheduled maintenance, the appropriate chamber for this testing sequence is currently unavailable. It has been replaced with a live fire course designed for military androids. The Enrichment Center apologizes.
Again, she's trying to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, literally, when she's actually saying, you know, we don't have the right test chamber, so I just filled this one with guns.
We wish you the best of luck. We're not gonna do anything about it.
I also don't understand this. I don't remember ever seeing this in the base game with the subtitles, but once in a while when I played this version, you'd notice sometimes the subtitles like change a language. I don't know why. It's like, is that something to do with maybe one of the language files being corrupted or what? It's weird.
So occasionally, when GLaDOS goes into static, when GLaDOS turns into static, there are a few instances where she does change into Spanish in-game, but there are also a couple of turrets that when they freak out also change to Spanish, and it's specifically Spanish.
Oh, and that's probably why the subtitle shows up weird, because it's not, it's like whatever language. I just, looking back in the video too, it's like a hodgepodge of things. A lot of it seems to be Chinese.
That's it, yeah, because I know in the base game, it does happen. I know it does happen in the base game, but from memory, I think I usually played with the subtitles off, and the main reason is because I think also some of the turrets, their messages either stopped turning up, or they were incorrect at one point. And then, like, in 2019, after goodness knows how long, Portal actually had a Steam update, and apparently the fix was subtitle corrections. So it corrected the turrets, but then it added the Spanish glitchiness in for, like, everything else, and I'm like, oh, so that actually was meant to happen with all of them. Good to know.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. But at the same time, it seems like some of the subtitles originally were kind of bugged out, hence why I guess there's weird translation issues like that, or just sometimes they don't show up correctly.
It's one of those things where it's become so, I guess, ingrained in the meta of some of these games that some of the corrections that have been done needed to be done, and some of the corrections just became either infamous or remembered because of how iconically weird they were. So they went, all right, let's just bump up the consistency.
Well done, Android. The Enrichment Center
And then it's
once
just
again
like, no, now
reminds
it's
you
part of
that
the game, it's just
Android
more
Hell
consistent.
is a real place where you will
Yeah,
be
it's kind of
sent
funny when
at
you
the
see
first
something
sign of
that's
defiance.
either a glitch or just something other weird nature where code just become kind of like, yeah, no, that's canon now.
Yeah.
Here's the biggest question that just came to mind. Do we know if there's going to be do we know, or is there already an RTX build for Portal 2?
As of right now, there is not. Technically, you can take the Portal RTX code and inject it into some other source games. Like, people have already gotten this to work with some of the Half-Life games and Counter-Strike.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But since Portal 2 runs on a whole different engine, so far, no, that does not have any RTX support.
And I'm not surprised that people have already been able to inject it in Half-Life, considering that it'd probably be just as straightforward as the process that people have been doing for the... It's either the M mod or the source mod randomizer that people have been playing around with, which like takes elements of all of the orange box games and basically just makes a randomizer of them on top of whatever base game you want. So you can have like Half-Life 2 with Team Fortress voice clips and Portal turret skins on things. Like stuff like that happening. So I know like that would make sense that people have already been doing that with Half-Life.
I wonder if they've done it with Gmod.
I wouldn't be surprised because that runs off the same source engine, I believe, as all these other games.
Yeah, it runs off the same source engine.
That would be kind of cool.
We could play prop hunting and with ray tracing.
As long as you don't like frames.
Because I know Black Mesa itself is not technically an official re-release of Half-Life 1. It's like made by passionate people as an alternate universe remake, effectively. But I imagine because it's running on the source engine, it could potentially also benefit from the RTX.
It might also work in the same way, yeah, sure. That one I have not really heard people messing with as much, but it's also, to be fair, that looks better than like any of the other source games that it's based off of anyways, because of just, it's more modern.
Yeah, it's like, it needs the least.
Yeah. And even then, it's like technically, this game does look really good with all the ray tracing updates to it, but if you go back and play the original, it still looks pretty good for what it is. It's mainly just because of the environment you're in. It's not really that flashy, so texture-wise, everything still kind of holds up. And the only real major thing that, yeah, definitely kind of aged has definitely been models, because if you see Shell through a portal, she definitely looks a little weirder than like her Portal 2 counterpart.
Yeah. Like, for example, I don't think the like the propulsion gels necessarily need the RTX setup, but it'd be cool to see it.
Yeah.
I want it to look like jelly. I want it to look like I just took it out of the fridge.
It's so weird that they've done this though after so many years since the first game came out, and they're like, hey, let's just upgrade the graphics on it.
Yeah, it was actually kind of an interesting pick because when the 20 series graphics cards came out, they used Quake as an RTX demo, essentially, where they went back, remade the entirety of Quake with RTX, and that was a cool like showcase of it. But that was a more simple game compared to Portal. Portal is a lot more newer in comparison, and already could not very graphically demanding by today's standards, but when it came out, it definitely pushed some systems. So it was an interesting pick.
Yeah. When they did that for Quake, I'm pretty sure they also made it a free download as well. They're just going, yeah, we're playing around with things. You can have it for free. I'm like, you're giving me Quake for free? Yes, please.
Yeah, it's like the same setup as this game. If you have Quake, then you just get the Quake RTX update for free. So you don't have to buy it. It counts, I think, as a separate game still, but you don't have to buy it.
I love these little markings on the wall.
She's watching you. Beep.
That's the case. I'm out of here. There's a door over here. I could probably just leave with this. Except it's a cool joke. Someone took away the handle, so good luck with that.
Dang it.
The doors still look like flat JPEGs, though. You can't really fix that. No matter how much RTX you have.
I'd love to MacGyver my way through there and just like use the antenna of the radio and just like jimmy the lock open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not the radio.
Light's green. It's all good.
This is one of the worst radios to actually get to its designated spot. Just because of these jumps, it's very easy to let go of this thing by accident because of physics. You're supposed to take it all the way to the top of the ceiling area here and drop down to a specific ledge. And that's this radio. It's one of 3, I believe, in this chest chamber. This one has so many radios.
And I'm pretty sure they expect you to move all of them to the right points on the same run before it ticks it off.
Yeah, I think so as well. So it's one of those where you have to be really careful.
It's one of the few test chambers where it does that, yeah.
Deploying!
Because that turn talked to me in Chinese again.
I saw that.
It's like, oh, wait a minute. They don't understand this language. Hold on.
It's just like when Qbot was stuck on cowboy mode. The whole entire...
Yeah, it kind of has like the same energy.
Arrgh! Me voice chip feel the catty wampus. Thanks to Sonic, everything's catty wampus.
Hey, Orbot, could you punch him again? That's the only way we seem to be able to fix this glitch.
Thanks to RTX, everything's catty wampus.
To ensure the safe performance of all authorized activities, you have managed to ensnare yourself permanently inside this room.
Uh-oh.
Oh, good going.
Good going, Lester. You broke it again.
Why does Shell keep on doing this? I swear, she just wants to be my prisoner. It's the second time she's trapped herself in a cage. And third time I had to open the door for her.
When in doubt, let me out.
I will say, if you want a good stress test to see what settings you should run Portal RTX on, come to this test chamber. This is probably the most demanding one in the whole game.
Say, if you need a test for what's going to be the most demanding for the RTX setup, don't.
Yes. If you have everything that's not Team Green, don't. No joke, I've seen people play, I think this was before the 7900 XT cards came out, like the newest ones from AMD. I've seen people play with like the 6900 XT on this, like AMD's latest like flagship from like 2 years ago. And they turned down the settings as much as possible in this game and played like the lowest resolution and still ran at like 15 to 20 frames per second.
Oh my god.
If you don't have DLSS support in your graphics card, this game just does not run at all, essentially. You need that specific feature.
Oof.
Or, in other words, if you want to test your 4090 and see it catch on fire, please come to this chamber.
Yes. I mean, technically, the 4090, I think, can actually play this game at 1080p just fine without DLSS on. But the 40 series have DLSS 3. It's like the newer version of it that's supposed to be more efficient. And this game can run in like triple-digit frame rates, no problem on those cards. It's just you have to sell your second-born child to actually afford it.
When you were saying that, Lester says, if you want to test... people actually went to go see if the 4090 could catch on fire. I was like, yeah, we already know that.
I don't like money.
Yeah. I mean, there's actually been tests, and this is why now we know why that happened. I think Gamers Nexus was the first channel that really figured out why that happened, and they determined it was because you didn't plug in the power cord fully. Like, it's 99% in the card, and yet that's not enough, so catches fire.
I just love the fact that when the 40 series came out, when like within, I want to say within the same year that the 40 series started being produced, we got, I'm pretty sure was close to the time that Crisis Remastered started getting a lot of updates, and I'm like, oh, I can see where this is going.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they add in some extra stuff. I think that got DLSS 3 support, technically. That's one of the big updates.
I'm like, oh, they're playing with fire, literally.
Yeah. What? I thought that was fun. I thought that's what all the cool kids do.
This is where the last one is, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is the last one for this chest chamber. This one's weird because you can't take it with you to its location. You have to go to the location first and then port your way back down. But to do that, it's just like such a precise shot, it feels like. Because you can't hit any of the floor that you just portaled up with. But you get the wall that's right around the area you started this whole fleeing section with.
For more information,
I hope you have a
please
good
attend
shot
the
ready.
Enrichment Center Electrical Safety Seminar.
I'm not going to some dang seminar.
One, especially electrical.
Yeah.
I just love the little dance Lester's doing every time he finds another wreck here.
Like, yeah.
At the time, I'm just crouching to see the thing better because I want to see, is it actually in the right spot? It's hard to tell.
Welcome to the final test. When you are done, you will drop the device in the Equipment Recovery Annex.
I hope you're not thirsty. You're not allowed to drink in this test chamber. Water is banned. It's like any modern recording studio. Don't bring your bottle in here. I will kick you out.
So, hydrate Bod, as soon as he comes onto the premises, he's automatically shot on the premises.
Yeah, it's like they're waiting.
The moral of the story is never hydrate. Gotcha.
Quit destroying our testing apparatus.
I still want to destroy. There's like, what, one more camera? I'm gonna destroy it.
Already come this far.
Certain objects may be vital to your success. Do not destroy testing apparatus.
How many times do I have to tell you? The cameras are going away, GLaDOS.
I mean, that was the last one.
Do I look like I care about vital testing apparatus? No.
I'm sorry, you mistaken me for someone that actually cares.
I'm just here for the paycheck. I'm not here for actual science.
One paycheck.
Yeah, that's the mistake. We signed up for a paycheck we were promised that we never get. I mean, here's our cake right here. It looks great. Just don't turn left.
All Aperture technologies
It looks so much better with RTX on.
Cake. Oh, it's like, what is it? Oh God, what?
Oh, wait, the cake's still in the oven, and this is the oven. Wait, I'm the cake.
That is the cake. It's just I plugged in the power cord like 99% of the way, so it caught on fire. Just like the 40 cards.
Oh, yeah,
God.
there's the 40 cards.
You know what should have been I don't know there's a 4090 in that, but there should be, just because of that.
That is a 4090.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we were talking how big the card is. Here it is. It's just the room.
That's why they call it the orange box.
Stop it. Please.
You know, maybe we shouldn't give her more ideas. She took this idea from us.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's one in the fire pit. This is one of the hardest ones to grab for all the wrong reasons. It's just because if you get too close, you die.
For all the wrong reasons, you think? Oh, you just watched the platform sink into the fire.
It literally just sinks through the floor. It's terrible.
It's funny because when GLaDOS said, "What are you doing?" I just want her to continue. It's like, "What are you doing? Get back there and cook."
I made this fire pit with the 4090 for just you.
What are you doing? I'm getting the radio. I know. You want to listen to smooth jazz, and it will be deployed somewhere else.
Oh my gosh, what if she's not a jazz fan?
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly. She just likes Persona music. One of those.
Lester, half of the soundtrack of Persona is jazz.
Exactly, and that's the ignorant Persona fan. Was like, you just never heard music before, have you?
It's like, man, I'm getting some real Persona 5 vibes from this music. It's like, because it's jazz!
Yeah.
What's jazz?
That's still one of the dumbest arguments you've ever heard come out. It's like, have you never listened to music before?
You really do like jazz, don't you, GLaDOS?
You never listened to music before, huh? You've never seen, actually, no, you've never listened to this genre of music before, have you?
Now someone's gonna come and say, what's jazz? I only know Persona 5 music.
It's like, and this is why we have a problem.
This is why it was asked in the B movie if you like it or not.
And half the world said no, sadly.
I wonder if Jerry Seinfeld ever
Oh, is it
directed
bad?
the movie.
You beat me to it. I wonder if Jerry Seinfeld's a Persona fan.
Yes. Just because of the music, nothing else.
Quickly, someone go ask him. We must know.
Jerry Seinfeld dancing to Specialist.
I'm just imagining Jerry Seinfeld with the with a Joker's mascot.
I think someone did take that scene from the B movie where he says, "Do you like jazz?" and just puts in like Persona music just because of that meme.
You like Smash?
Oh my God.
Shall I bring you jazz? Oh no.
I thought you missed the
Honestly, with how
platform
many
there.
times people were joking about Shrek being in Smash Brothers, this is not actually the weirdest thing I've heard, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it could be weird. You can actually see him in Smash Bros. Because there's just so many mods of that, and it's so horrifying.
Makes more sense than Goku. What?
Also horrifying when you see that as a mod.
What'd you say, Amber?
I thought he missed the platform there, back there. I was like, oh my gosh.
I mean, it's easy enough to do, but just like a weird fling.
Okay, the test is over now. You win. Go back to the recovery annex for your cake.
Get back there and
was a
give it
fun
cooked.
test, and we're all impressed at how
What did
much
I tell
brought.
you?
The test is over.
I mean, the cake wasn't ready yet, so I figured I might as well just go find the bathroom real quick.
GLaDOS, you're talking like you're hiding another radio.
That's exactly why we're not going back. We know where it is, and we're gonna find it.
Do you even want to get out? No, I want the radio.
Must collect them all.
I need jazz.
I just need two things in my life. Seinfeld and jazz.
Maybe that's why Wheatley talks so much into. He don't want you to listen to the jazz music.
Exactly.
Maybe Aperture Labs is actually the Moonlight Lounge.
There you go.
Loading? What? What is that?
Yeah, it kind of breaks your immersion a little bit when you just walk into a random spot and the words loading just appear.
I thought you had a solid state.
Yeah, it doesn't mean this game's like loading things in chunks still. That's like the one weird thing when you go back to Portal 1. It's just how it breaks things up.
It means when it loads, everything turns into a solid state.
Yeah, there you go.
Freeze frame, that one
That's
frame
how
a
it
second we
works.
were talking about earlier. Oh, this is just cruel. From a radio perspective.
No.
Hush, I'm listening to my music.
Like, I would turn it up, but the volume dial broke.
I love how much the concrete is cracked in some of these areas now that you've got all the graphical fidelity cranked up to maximum.
Yeah. I mean, it looks real clean. Even when you have some of the other DLSS settings on. Like, I'm playing on performance, which does muddy up some stuff a little bit more for just that overall performance bump. But it still looks really good for what it is. Things are still very sharp, and there's more detail here than the vanilla game.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, all of the glowing effects don't oversaturate anything, and it doesn't look like I'm looking through things through blurry glasses or anything, or that I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, what was the game I was watching my partner play the other week that there was just too much going on and my eyes were going out of it. Gotham Knights.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a beautiful game, but the HUD is such a stark contrast to the rest of the aesthetics to the game that it actually looked like it was smearing the HUD, and I thought that it was just like lampposts on the side of buildings in Gotham. It's like, no, that's the HUD. I'm like, why is it smearing? Oh, the contrast is so drastic, my eyes can't focus on it. Great, gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've seen like some screenshots, and it doesn't look like it fits in that kind of game. But I think it's also because they're using very similar like assets and like the engine and such from Arkham Knight. So some things are a little like stark difference when you compare it to like a 2022 art style.
And the lighting has to be as harsh as it is so that regardless of where you are, you can still see the HUD. The problem is it means that if you're on something that is dark and dreary, like a rainy night in Gotham, it sort of smudges the HUD. And I'm like, ooh, ow my eyes. Stigmatism is not helping today.
Yeah, I never like it when something like that happens. One of my least favorite things in like any video game is when the lighting changes so drastically if you go in a bright area. So essentially you just get flashbang by looking at your screen. That's fine, I didn't need to see. The lighting's just so bright, it might as well just be the sun.
Oh, it's not gonna beam you up?
Beam me up, Scotty.
I don't know what is with that specific like mechanism thing, but every time I play this game, it just never works when I click on it. It just works when it feels like. It's so dumb.
Are you still there?
I love how it goes target last and it just went screaming.
Yeah, it's like target lost. Yeah, I walked away. That's the only turn in the game that won't shoot you because it's defective.
Deploying. Who's there? Yeah, those subtitles are always wrong.
Yeah. Who's there? 95.2 FM.
I saw green text 4chan, like it was like a account on Twitter that I follow, and it's called green text, and it showed up a story time. It said, "Screeching noise. You're listening to 102.5," and it says elephant noise. And it's like, you know how radio stations were advertised for rock stations having weird noise.
Those obnoxious radio ads are like, you're listening to
where we play rock and non-rock, anything rock. And then it says, what did it say? Rehabilitate. Imagine Dragons starts softly playing.
This is hardcore. Welcome back to 99.5. We play rock, and only rock. And it's just Imagine Dragons. It's like the most calm song. There's like a stark difference to the whole announcement.
Do you? This is your last chance.
That's it. We're going back to jazz.
Hey, we're talking about B-movie again. Please shoot me.
Already did that in Kirby. Already did that in Kirby.
I still appreciate the determination to stick to the bit with that.
I never want to do that again, by the way. That was painful.
I think the thing that made it the funniest of all was at the time that we were doing that, I just laughed at the fact that Chugger uploaded a video for Mario Galaxy that had a B-movie joke in it the same week, and I'm like, this is too coincidental, and I don't know if I hate it or love it.
Don't know if planned or very good coincidence.
Why not both?
Chaos begets chaos. And we still have the jarring load time in here.
Yeah, we just walk through a portal and it boom, loading. It's because like halfway through the room is a loading trigger. And it's probably the most glaring one out of them all just because of where it's placed.
It is. Ooh. See, this floor was always confusing to me, and it still is that I always thought, oh, I can't walk down here because mud. Evil mud goop.
Yeah, it's the only time in the game where you have like different physics for your walking too because of that water. Like very slippery sludge.
I can't tell whether the RTX helps with that because again, it looks like it's just got the same texture as the evil swamp goop.
Yeah, I can see a little more like leaves in it this time around. It's like some grass. So you can tell a little more it's like sewage water coming from outside.
I love how you're picking up the little robots and they're like, put me down. You're like, all right, you asked for it.
It's like, wait, no, I didn't mean to pick me back up. Careful what you asked for. You may go in the sewage goop.
Critical error, I'm drowning.
Good.
When you say that, it just reminds me of when you said that, that reminds me of the CDI Zelda said, "I'm melting! Yeah, you killed me." The Zelda goes, "Good."
Yeah. Always think of that when anyone says good in like the most monotone diction ever.
Oh yeah, anytime someone says, you know, karma has just done this thing to this person, and I just spam the good gif. Just like, it's my, it is probably the gif I use the most.
Good.
Good.
No, not the radio.
Oh, it didn't mean to drop that. I really hope that gets to its destination. Now I have to get to the destination.
Oh no.
What was the destination?
Either that radio made it safe and sound, or hit the quick load.
I sent it to 1985.
I found jazz in the 80s.
There it is.
I believe this is our last radio, too. As soon as we shove it in this section of pipes. And that's it for all of our SOS signals. Too bad no one's hearing them.
The green light turned off, though. Does it count? I don't know.
That's the weird thing. I don't know if that one counted or not, because half of these triggers for me just didn't, for whatever reason. But, like, the in-game tracking with Steam just kind of, with this version right now, is a little busted still. It's been getting updates, but I think the reason why is because of the extra menu they added for the new initiative to doing, like, the NVIDIA Redux, or whatever it's called, for getting the RTX into older games like this. Because the hotkey to pull it up is Alt-X, and it pulls up a new overlay. But when you pull up that overlay, it breaks the Steam one. That's great.
I just love how you're subtly watching the PowerPoint. It's just like, Black Mesa. It's like, yeah, what about it?
Yeah, that's kind of hard to read through the window, but if you actually use, like, cheat codes to fly into the room, you can clearly see what that says. Like, there's a, like, whole big presentation thing about Black Mesa.
Yeah. Like, it changed to a different slide, so I'm like, oh, you could have easily missed that. Go back, go back, go back.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a little weird to read through the window, especially with this version, because of how the windows are more reflective.
Then we have a slideshow of them teaching Val how to count to 3.
Yes. Yeah, they went backwards and they counted back to 1 on this one.
1, 2, construction.
I went further back for Half-Life with Alex, that's like 0.5, because it's a prequel.
We both know that isn't going to happen. You chose this path. Now I have a surprise for you. Deploying surprise in
1,
5,
2,
4,
bridge construction, Alex.
for a second.
That's how numbers work.
It's like, I have a surprise. I have a surprise for you. Your 4090 is gonna catch fire now.
Wait, I just got that back from RMA.
What is this? What is a 4090? Never mind, it's a mystery I'll solve later.
That is a good question. What is it? They keep on saying out of stock, and they also cost me my 3rd board child. I had to sell the 2nd board for the 4080.
Make your life even worse somehow. You're kidding me. Did you just step up to something we
You are kidding.
into an Aperture Science emergency intelligence incinerator?
My favorite part is the part coming up with the screens. There's a very specific moment when her voice changes and the image on screen changes to the most fitting thing. You're screwed. And it's just a bunch of screws.
Yep.
These, I believe, are updated images, too, because they look sharper in this. And I think even the screws, like, there's more screws in the screw image. So I think they changed out the pictures.
Screw you, and when you're done, screw you some more. This is an angry GLaDOS.
Oh well, if you want my advice, you should just lie down in front of a rocket. Trust me.
Timing.
Oh, that's how it feels. I mean, I wanted to test it on you first, because I didn't know the rockets were safe.
You should just lie down in front of a rocket.
Yeah, we only have about 6 minutes before we die because of the neurotoxin in here. But every one of these little cores we throw into the incinerator, things get more and more dire. I think at one point the timer just disappears. May also be thinking of Portal 2, but the time limit really is not much of a problem in this fight. You have more than enough time.
Okay, I can't wait until you find that one core that I love to death. It's the one that's just snarling.
I think that's the last one. This one gives you the whole cake recipe for Portal.
The cake recipe, that one's
Wait,
funny.
save him! You need your cake!
We need him! Don't kill him! We need him!
Hang on. I already backed up its data. Now I'll kill it.
Okay, alright then. For some reason, I really love the one that just snarls at you. It's just so funny.
Yeah, it's the one that has no real dialogue. It's just making noises, but it's just funny.
I really need to go play this game.
I think you're about ready to get him.
Yeah, this is it. This is the anger.
Like he's all angry.
Yeah, the first one that you get in the sequence was like the curious core, and the second one was the cake, and then this last one is angry. That first actual course he drops is just nothing. It doesn't really talk at all. It's just there.
And then when you throw it in the incinerator, it starts yipping like a dog. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, wait, are you actually happy to die? Wow, that's a parallel.
Bye, GLaDOS.
That's one of my favorite lines at the end. Let me put you on. Hello, that's you. That's how dumb you sound when she's super fast and chipmunk speed. Like, oh, I also sound like Alvin. I will say this ending's gonna look a little weird right now because I'm playing with the max POV settings, like 110. This game defaults to 70. So, it wasn't really designed for that, so you can actually see the seams of the wall in the ending.
Oh my gosh, you can.
Oh wait, it's fine. The trees just ended abruptly. Also, there's another 4090 just for good measure.
In case you didn't get the joke.
Get it? NVIDIA made the remake. Please buy our graphics cards. We made them too expensive.
Now, quick question is, are you going to actually go find the cake? Because there's a way you can actually get to the cake.
Yeah, you technically can because this is in the same map as the GLaDOS boss fight. That's how this whole sequence is playing without load. I don't know how you get to it normally, but I know you can go there with just SV cheats and no clip and just fly out of bounds.
I'm pretty sure, Lester, that when we did the race, you finished first, so you took time waiting for Matt to get to the end, going to look for the cake.
Yeah, I specifically loaded back up the final map section and then just flew to where the cake was.
Cheeky.
I think with some like clever out-of-bounds portal shots, you can actually get here without cheat codes, which is really hard to do.
Man, it's so weird seeing this in like 16:9. I'm also used to like 4x3 like resolution for that scene.
Yeah, a lot of people who played this back when the game first came out, whether it be on PC or even like the console port, it was 4x3 because none of us had widescreen televisions or monitors yet. Actually, now thinking about it, when I first played Portal, I think the highest resolution my laptop screen was, because I played this on a laptop, was barely 720p. You know, for the remake, they should have just remade this song, but then just changed it to something weird to throw people off. With RTX on, now it's dub-dub. It's just wubbing. Dubstep.
Like all of us, except the copyright holders.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, and now here's Limp Bizkit.
Technically, on the archive channel, for us, it did get flagged.
Oh no.
Both Portal 1 and 2's song do get flagged nowadays. Still alive, and Once You Gone are in the copyright system for YouTube.
See, this is why I'm glad I did a stupid parody for the race. Because it's just like, yes, this is my workaround.
Yeah.
This is my workaround. Audio jungle!
Yeah, that was the entirety of Portal. It's a very short game by today's standards, but I do think the RTX upgrade is worth going back to play it. This is only on PC right now, obviously. I don't think this will ever really get ported to a console. Maybe if they make a PS5 or Xbox Series version of Portal, they might just port it over, but how big of a deal this was as a showcase for the NVIDIA 40 series, I don't know if they would port this to systems just because of that promotion thing.
I don't think so, because one, the 4090 jokes are specifically PC-centric, and two, Gabe Newell does not strike me as Todd Howard, so I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah, plus getting this to run on anything that doesn't have DLSS support is a nightmare, so I don't think that's going to happen when the consoles don't support that tech either.
Yeah, it's Portal for PS5. Gabe, this is the 7th time you've brought Portal to class.
For a big graphics update, this looked really good though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it looks really clean in a lot of areas, no matter what settings you play at, really. If you're not sure, the game will default to settings that NVIDIA recommends for your hardware, but you probably still need to mess with things. There's a chart. This is a game with a chart. It got that bad with settings. You can look them up. There's different settings you can change based on hardware. It's confusing. Just set what you think is fine and bump up the actual DLSS settings like performance or ultra performance, and it'll run much smoother.
I also gotta say I love how they did the credits with the voice acting. It's like, all right, here's GLaDOS' voice actor. This guy played the Angry Spear.
Yeah. There's not many voices in the game, but the ones that are here, they get credited. But the names they associate with, it's like GLaDOS, Shell, Angry Sphere, Cake. It's all like joke names, but it is not wrong because that's what these things are called. That's it. Technically, we do have the advanced test chambers, but that'll be like its own separate bonus video.
And Saxtu starts crying.
The flashbacks hit.
Everyone finished.